The Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets.
Lindor hits one in the air to deep left field. That goes Yelich to the warning track. Looking up. It's out of here.
Have the time of your life.
Lots of press on the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight. A two-run bomb into the second deck from Pete Alonso.
East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets.
Fly ball left field. Back goes Maton looking up at the wall. And it's out of here. Mark Canha. Turner drives one to center. Chasing Nimmo back to the warning track.
Hold that holler and they're cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue. So hurry up and come on down.
Going back. Warning
We
track
got
ball.
our
And goodbye. Home run.
the Mets of New York.
For the Mets tonight has come with 2 strikes. That's lifted down the line. They've got it in there. It's a home run.
Come on and meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your
2-2.
kiddies,
And Munson
bring
goes
your
down on
wife.
strength.
Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really something to
Cruz goes down on
fall.
the changeup.
Knocking those home runs.
Swung out and missed strike 3. Got him with a hard slider. 1-2. Struck it.
Everybody's coming down to meet the METS
Pitchers combined for the second no-hitter in New York Mets history.
of New York
Oh my God! The Mets just re-signed Brandon Nimmo, and they just signed David Robertson. Are you kidding me? Guys, I'm going to need a minute. I'm going to have to try my best to edit these graphics because I got to show not only Nimmo on the thumbnail, but David Robertson too. Are you kidding me? The Mets get Brandon Nimmo at a $20.5 million AAV deal for 8 years. Great when look at AAV value. Guys, a lot of us thought Brandon Nimmo was gone. He's back, and they literally just signed David Robertson to a 1-year, $10 million deal. There's your setup, man, folks. Holy smokes. Oh, my God. Wow. Bang, 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 bang. Let's get some hype in the chat, baby. The Mets got Robertson. Again, couple months late, but we'll take it. We'll gladly take it. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, guys. I have so much raw reactions and emotions to this. I don't even have stuff prepped for Robertson. Shame on. I didn't think the Mets were going to land him. I'm dumbfounded. Nimmo is huge in itself, but the fact that they just got Robertson too, that's their setup guy. Wow, hype in the chat. Everyone thought the Mets weren't going to do anything. To all the schmucks out there that said the Mets wouldn't do shit this offseason, seriously, I love you being proven wrong. I love it. Hype in the chat, baby. Let's effing go. Let's effing go. Mets got Nimmo and Robertson. I'm going to edit the thumbnail in a minute, so bear with me. Dude, I just got home and saw this stream. This is effing amazing. Yes, it is. Again, appreciate the dono, my guy. I'm happy to have you in here, Dan. Thank you so much. Sources say that even after Brandon Nimmo and David Robertson, that Senga is still in play for the Mets. Oh, my God. Oh, oh my God. Damn, I'm effing happy. I saw a post 10 minutes ago. Thank you so much for the donut, Oliver. I appreciate that. Guys, let's get some hype in the chat, baby. Brandon Nimmo, David Robertson, you are on the Mets. Nimmo returns. David Robertson comes after, of course, being a longtime reliever with the Yankees under Billy Epler as assistant GM to Brian Cashman in the Bronx. Then, of course, the Mets try to get him at the trade deadline. He goes to the Phillies, has a deep run with them to the World Series. But now the Mets get their setup guy. This is, holy shit, man. Oh, this is sick. And I love that they got Robertson out of 1-year deal. I'd imagine that Ottavino's not returning now. Again, I could be wrong. But they got Robertson at a good deal too, man. This is crazy. This is insane. Yo, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Yo, thank you so much, Billy and Steve Cohen, getting the jobs done. Brandon Nimmo, David Robertson, bang, 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 bang. Holy shit. My God. Oh, holy guacamole. And Sandy, thank you so much for the dono. Greatly appreciate that. Let's go, Papa. Nimmo or bust. Nimmo to stay. Senga. Yeah, 100%, baby. 100%. Now go get Senga. Go get Senga. Add one more bat, and then we're pretty much where we want to be. Thank you so much. Senga, the Red Sox reports out of Boston. No way. I didn't see any reports out of Boston that Senga's going to the Red Sox right now. All I've seen, I know the Red Sox are in on him, but I haven't seen Senga going there right now. You might be thinking of Masataka Yoshida. Oh, how we feeling, baby? How we feeling? Mets make two massive moves out of nowhere. They re-signed their center fielder, the top center fielder on the market, who had a phenomenal year with the Metropolitans. I actually love the fact that it's an 8-year deal because it stretches out that money. It's not as short-term, right? Because there was concerns that you're paying around $25 million per year for Brandon Nimmo. No, he goes back to the Mets on a 162 deal, which is a lot, but it's over 8 years instead of, say, a 5, 6, or even a 7. So I like that it's stretched out like this. Brandon Nimmo will be with the Metropolitans for pretty much the remainder of his career at this juncture. Again, of course, we don't know what the future holds, but as of now, Brandon Nimmo may in fact play his entire career in a Mets uniform, and that is absolutely insane, absurd. So, baby, guys, I want to talk a lot about David Robertson, not only Brandon Nimmo here. Again, guys, continue smashing on like and subscribe button as you're just chiming in. Mets make not only one, but two massive deals tonight, bringing back Brandon Nimmo and getting David Robertson. So bear with me 1 second, guys. I want to edit some stuff here, so give me a second, everybody. There we go. Got the thumbnail fixed. Love to see that. Oh my God. Look, the Nimmo stuff was exciting enough, but the fact, David Robertson, 4.50 ERA in 2021, why are you focusing on 2021? That's the real question. Are you not focusing on last year? You're not focusing on his career norms? Because it's not that. Even David Robertson is going to be an Ottavino 2.0 situation. Another veteran right-hander in his late 30s, of course, was a former New York Yankee, now coming to Queens. That's exactly the situation here. Honestly, I'm surprised that the Mets managed to get Robertson for only a 1-year deal. That too. I'm overreacting right now. The same offense as last year. JR, as if the Mets are done with moves. That's the funny thing. They're not done. Anyone that's trying to talk down on this has literally no idea how important it was to bring back Brandon Nimmo. It would be such a gaping hole if you were going to lose him, 1. And 2, now you bring in David Robertson for this bullpen, and a bullpen that had so much uncertainties is quickly game result. The 2 relievers the Mets have acquired now after acquiring via trade yesterday, that being and Brooks Raley, which is their phenomenal lefty specialist now. Now they bring in David Robertson, who had a really good year splitting times with the Cubs and the Phillies. Mets really want him at the trade deadline. Didn't happen. And then he goes on that World Series run. And now, again, they're going to add probably maybe 1, 2 more relievers, but the moves that they're making right now is absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy with what this team is able to do at the moment. So, and if the Mets get Kodai Senga, I'm feeling good. So hype in the chat to everybody. Let me get some of your comments. Blitz, thank you so much for the dono. Let's see here. If you don't think Nimmo is good or just okay, you don't know baseball. Plain and simple. Great job, Uncle Steve. 100%. Yep, exactly. On-base Kane, one of the best players that we've seen in a while in center field. And it's crazy considering that Brandon Nimmo was a shell of what he is now just 2 seasons ago defensively at center, and now he's one of the better ones in baseball. I mean, he's right around average, if not just above average. That's how good he's been. And you know what I think? I do think that Brandon Nimmo is going to be named captain of the Metropolitans. There was rumblings of it all throughout the season, even last offseason. And don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. Do not be surprised if Brandon Nimmo is named the next official captain of the Mets, especially on an 8-year deal. I guarantee. I don't guarantee, but I really think that that's going to be a factor in the things. I think Brandon Nimmo is going to be captain. I'm so happy that this selfless man, again, a team-first player through and through, is coming back to this Mets team. With what he means to this team on and off the field, as long as he stays healthy, this is huge. So damn happy about the Mets getting Brandon Nimmo back. And yeah, I do think he's going to get it over Pete, or at worst, he might co-captain. But yeah, I really do think that Nimmo is going to be the next captain of the Mets. So we'll see, though. We'll see. Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. That's crazy. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to check everything. What did Andy Martino tweet? Did he tweet more things? Bear with me, guys. Again, breaking news. The Mets have brought back Brandon Nimmo, and we're going to go over Nimmo stats. We're going to go over David Robertson, what they mean again for the Mets going forward, aside from what I've already said here. But massive, massive news. Holy shit. I mean, man, this is insane. This really is insane, guys. I cannot emphasize how big of a deal this is for this Mets team. And I've been saying that a lot. Okay. Mets signed David Robertson per source. I'm told that's it for tonight. Are you not entertained? Says Andy. Andy, I am entertained. And again, Martino reiterated again that the Mets are still in play and going after Kodai Senga. We just did a video on Kodai Senga as well. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. Still holds true. Oh, can you show Robertson in action? I can't show you Robertson right now. Actually, I'll try, guys. I'm going to lag for a couple minutes, but if you guys want some Robertson highlights in the show, I will try to do that. It's going to be easier said than done, though. It's going to lag like a mofo, so bear with me. I just want to continue to share my raw reactions here. Then if I get a chance to show some Robertson highlights, I will. Normally, I have everything pre-saved. I didn't have anything for Robertson because I was so in favor and under the belief that the Mets were going to bring back a veteran right-hander or land one. It was going to be bringing back Adam Ottavino. So I'm taken by surprise that they got David Robertson. Not against it at all. I'm just taken by surprise. Mets are still nickel and dime shopping. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to say, Delmar, you have no clue what you're talking about. You want to be the only schmuck in here. That's for sure. That's actually hilarious. Let's see. Wardy, we were bottom 10 in slugging and have done nothing to address that. I'm yawning right now. This is the funny thing, guys. You act like you're going to be able to address everything in one fell swoop. Frank, love you, buddy. Appreciate your support. But you got to realize that the focus right now is on Brandon Nimmo is literally the hottest commodity in free agency right now. And that's just blowing over everyone's heads. Do you not understand the significance of this? Yes, they hopefully are going to add some more offense too. But bringing back him is arguably the most important thing that the Mets do this offseason. Because if you don't bring him back, you have such a gaping hole in center field. Starling Marte was never going to be shifting to center. Didn't believe that for 1 second. And again, he's injury prone. So yes, we'll focus on more offensive acquisitions going forward, additions rather, but do not down how important it is the Mets to bring him back. That's what I'm going to say right there, right now. Nimmo puts top effort in every play, earned it 100%. Kish, thank you for the dono. Oh, Captain, my Captain, welcome back, Brandon. Absolutely, Jeremy, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Hyping the chat to you, brother. One word, huge. Exactly. Thank you so much for that, Dean. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Wardy, we did it. Yeah, we did it, baby. Hyping the chat to you, Ghostway. Great support on the channel. But let's see here. H-Train calling out Evilzilla for saying we sign an overrated bum. Yeah, Evil. It's okay. And again, not everyone's accurate. That's what you gotta do. Let's see. You like what they did? Okay, Delmar. Never mind. And I apologize for going after you. H-Train. Thank you so much for the dono. Appreciate that. Austin, let's see here. Are we still going for Chafin? I would be a little surprised. Not impossible, but I would be surprised because they got a damn good lefty yesterday via trade from the Rays that we discussed in a separate stream. Huge. Penn is now shaping up 100%. So, guys, I want to break down more on David Robertson than I do Brandon Nimmo at the moment, just because he's the guy coming to Queens that hasn't been a Met already. Any casual Met fan knows who Brandon Nimmo is, knows what he means to this team from a defensive, from an offensive standpoint, how great he is with his hand-eye, how amazing he is with his on-base skills. He's one of the he's top 5 in all baseball since arriving in the bigs years ago in on-base percentage. So just to give you an idea on how pivotal he is with getting on base, that's Brandon Nimmo. But I want to expand more on David Robertson because they're both surprise moves because they happen out of nowhere tonight, but especially David Robertson, that's one that I want to share further emphasis on. I was really bummed out today thinking Nimmo was gone, so glad he's back. I hope the salary is front-loaded, though. His injury history scares me. Yeah, I get that. The injury history is going to scare everyone. The same can be said with other players in different positions, not only Nimmo. I think that's a big factor with Carlos Rodon and his market, for instance, but no less, I think that as long as Nimmo can stay relatively healthy, the Mets definitely have themselves a good deal, and they needed to because of the simple fact there were no better options out there for center field. If there was, different discussion. But, again, Andrew Benintendi is not playing center. So I think that in itself is just a fair argument and example as to why this was important for this team right now. And again, from a character standpoint, Nimmo's a winner. He's just a guy that I really hope will continue to succeed with this team. He's a guy that I hope will be on a championship team for this club. Nimmo and David Robertson, what a massive day. 100%. Thank you so much for the dono, Justin. Appreciate that a lot. I don't think the Mets are bringing back Ottavino. I think they just got their Ottavino replacement in David Robertson because they would be the same exact role. I could be wrong, but I think bringing back David Robertson means that there's a stronger likelihood that Ottavino does not return. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't see why you would land Robertson, who's a save/setup man, if you're going to still bring back Ottavino. Because they got him at a 1-year, $10 million deal. I think that was also a factor into why the Mets were so intrigued on a 1-year deal. The Mets don't want to go on a multi-year deals for much relievers out there, let alone guys in their late 30s like Adam Ottavino. But again, we'll see. If they bring him back, I'll still be very happy. That'll just be nuts if that were to happen. What bat do you think the Mets could go after next? Not sure, Anthony. Honestly, very up in the air on what they will do offensively going forward. I think right now the next move for them is going all in on Kodai Senga and seeing if they will be able to land him or if he goes to, say, San Diego, Boston, or elsewhere. I think that is what is likely next for the Mets. And bear with me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. David Ireland, woohoo, Jake, how do you like Uncle Stevie's vision for the future now? I mean, look, we all know what happened regarding oh wait. Holy shit. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the dono, David. Guys, I'm losing my mind. Michael Marino, who's been beyond accurate with his reporting, does a great job as an independent reporter for baseball. And of course, he's very connected with the Mets. Contrary to what one might believe, the addition of Kodai Senga has become more likely tonight after the additions of Brandon Nimmo and David Robertson. Senga has many interested suitors, but Mets have conveyed they are intent on winning now, and Senga is their top free agent starting pitching target. Oh, oh my God. Son of a gun, please. Please, I want him so bad. Holy shit. Sorry, guys. I'm so excited. This is such a good night. Such a good night. Exactly what you want to hear. Mets blown right through the luxury tax. They're like, fuck it. We got nothing to lose. $400 million payroll with the taxes included now for 2023. They're crazy, dude. They're wild. Oh. Rick, thank you for the dono. I am happy that the happiest man in baseball got the bag. I like him and follow him as a player. Love his enthusiasm. However, I don't like it when he kills the Phillies with a smile on his face. That is true, Rick. Rick, you're a beyond kind and generous Phillies fan. Thank you so much. Congratulations on all your success so far this offseason. And again, your deep run to the World Series. Again, appreciate Phillies fans like you are the absolute best. Thank you so much for that, dono. I appreciate the kind words that going that way. So, woohoo! Sorry, guys. I'm like a kid in a candy shop right now. I'm so excited. Bear with me another second, guys. Hold on. This is crazy. This is literally stupid. This is stupid. What's going on right now? Mets can pull off a Nimmo and Kodai Senga, but at some point you're likely yeah. You know what I do think, guys? I think the Mets, they're going all in on Kodai Senga. They probably want to land one more bat. I think the Mets are going to make some trades happen. That's what I think. And John Heyman forgot that the Mets got a lefty yesterday because he said, like this signing, Mets need reliable setup man. Now a lefty would be good too. Yeah, I think he forgot that the Mets got Brooks Raley yesterday. Could be wrong though. Also, speaking about lefties, just for you guys, when it comes to lefty batters, David Robertson is pretty much like a lefty specialist. His splits are fan-flippin-tastic. He gets so many lefties out so well. He gets lefties out just as good as righties. And Dave, I'm going to get your dono. Don't worry. Again, when we have roughly 2,000 concurrent viewers, naturally I'm going to miss some comments, so I apologize. Cruz, thank you for the dono. I know you've been a long-time supporter. I recognize you right away. Despite the news, if we miss out on Senga, do you see us pursuing a trade? Yes. I think free agent-wise, Ross Stripling is still on their radar, or Nathan Eovaldi. But I do think that would be in their best interest to pivot to a trade if they don't land Senga, because there is no true number 3 out there outside of him with his potential and pure stuff. But Dave, bear with me. I'm going to try to get to your comment if I missed it. So give me a second, everybody. Again, breaking news for everyone just chiming in live. Again, the Mets have in fact re-signed Brandon Nimmo to 8-year, $162 million deal. And at the same exact time, have already finalized their deal with David Robertson as their likely setup man for the 2023 season. The right-hander out of the bullpen who had a damn good year. Very Adam Ottavino-esque. So that's very exciting. But Dave, if I missed your dono, I apologize. I'm trying to find it, so bear with me. Must have been a while ago, so hold on, Dave. Hold on. Bear with me. And again, shout out everyone here in the live show. Guys, to my roughly 2,000 viewers, we are just a couple hundred subs away from 20K on the channel, and we are doing a massive, and I truly mean massive, giveaway on the channel once we hit 20K subscribers, which is a Justin Verlander brand new jersey to one lucky subscriber that wins it. So make sure to smash those buttons. Greatly appreciate. And also want to let you all know that today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. So make sure you head over to betonline.ag using promo code Bleav, that BLEAV. That way you get a 50% off welcome bonus. BetOnline, it's where the games begin. Now, folks, let's get more into the show. Dave, how did I miss your dono? Hold on. John, need him back. He gets on base. Plus, the bullpen is already looking better than last year. Bring me Senga, 100%. John, I don't know if I addressed that already, so that's why I'm addressing it now. Trying to see the other dono here. Great news tonight. Go get Senga now. 100%, Dave. Thank you so much for the dono. Love you, brother. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Alex, thank you for the dono. Alex is at her Correa would only move to third base for the Mets. I know. I don't think the Mets are going to get Correa, but if they did, I think my head would explode live on air on how ecstatic I would be. Not getting my hopes up on the Correa front, but for now, I'm very happy with everything the Mets are doing. They're getting the job done. The Mets are doing exactly what you would hope and expect them to do. They're not done. They are all in on Kodai Senga as he is their #1 target now going forward. Mets payroll is already at $328 million, guys. I'm telling you, Steve Cohen's going to have at least a $350 million payroll next year, if not more. He's insane. And that's aside from the taxes. With the taxes, that's $400+ million. Insane. 6 months ago, we named our third dog after Met Nimmo. I am bouncing off the effing ceiling. He will be an all-star, or I will have to strangle somebody. Thank you for the dono, Carlos. Congratulations to you being able to have your doggy stay the name of Nimmo. That's great. Again, thank you so much for the dono. That's hilarious. Oh, my goodness, guys. Oh, wow. Wow. If Brandon Nimmo does finish his career here and he performs, hopefully, as we expect, man, this is fantastic. This really is. This is crazy. Steve Cohen is getting taxed 90% on every single dollar he spends after he signed Verlander and Jose Quintana, because that was at passing the 298 threshold. Steve Cohen is a freaking madman. He's the godfather of the MLB. He is literally freaking insane. One dono for Nimmo, another for Robertson. Thank you for the dono, Cruz. I appreciate that. Freaking bananas. Bananas. Oh my God. Crazy. Actually, this is nuts. What's going on, Tyler? Congrats on you guys re-signing your guys. I want Robertson as well. Hopefully we'll get some very good Yankees news soon. I think the Yankees are going to get Carlos Rodon. That's what I think. I really think that they have a strong shot of landing him for sure. But again, guys, type in the chat to every single one of you. Breaking news again. The Mets have re-signed Brandon Nimmo and now have also landed David Robertson as their likely setup man for the upcoming season. Let's see. Give me 1 second, everybody. Now So for those that don't know, I'm only listed off now. Brandon Nimmo had a damn good 2022 campaign for the Mets, 16 home runs, 64 RBIs. But this is what makes Brandon Nimmo so special in the top of a lineup like the Mets. 102 runs scored. Stop overreacting, please. It's weird. If you think I'm overreacting, you don't follow the channel. It's as simple as that. I'm not overreacting at all. This is me being genuine. I'm beyond ecstatic and happy with what the Mets are doing right now. I'm sorry if that's hard for some of you to grasp. I guess you're just not as much of a diehard. Or again, I'm a diehard Brandon Nimmo lover too. So that further emphasizes things. 102 runs scored. Okay, most of his career. Expect Brandon Nimmo to be between 85 and 100 runs scored for the next multiple years in the top of this Mets line with how their offense is orchestrated. 274 average, 367 on base, 433 slug, a 5.4 WAR, the highest of his career, 26.6 offensive upside, and 1.9 plus for defense. Again, very solid numbers. And in his career, Brandon Nimmo is a 385 OBP guy. He's had at least a 400 OBP in 3 of his seasons in his career, dealing with injuries and ailments aside. But this is huge for the Mets to keep a guy like him, knowing how important it was. And now let's get also to, let's see here, with David Robertson. David Robertson, I'm really excited about because he's a guy I really, really wanted at the trade deadline, and it did not happen. So now that the Mets bring in Robertson, again, Robertson is 37. He'll be in his age 38 season next year. David Robertson's playing time with 2 teams this year, 63 innings, had a 2.40 ERA, a 3.05 expected ERA, a 3.58 FIP, a 3.71 expected FIP, 11.45 K per 9, a 4.95 walks per 9. This is literally Ottavino 2.0, guys. Robertson was great last year, but his walk rate was through the roof for K walks per 9. He had a 5 walks per 9. What was Adam Ottavino when the Mets signed him was a 4+ walks per 9 when he came to the Mets. So the Mets are under the expectation that they're going to do exactly what they did with Adam Ottavino last year, this upcoming year now with David Robertson, to help get his walk rate down and keep that strikeout rate up. That's crazy. Robertson, he's been a vet in the league. He's been in the league since 2008. He was a longtime New York Yankee for 2008 to 2014, was with the White Sox for a couple of years, then went back to the Yankees 2017, 2018, Phillies in 2019, but again, really didn't pitch much because of injuries. Same thing in 2021, barely pitched, and then he pitched in postseason for the Rays, which was a surprise how good he was there coming back from his injury. And then he finally broke out again and had a nice healthy season in 2022 at the age of 37. So David Robertson is your new setup man for the Metropolitans for this upcoming season. Hold on, guys. I got a bunch of comments I want to address, so bear with me. And guys, then we're going to also bring in Joe Serralo because we're going to turn this into a podcast show as well. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get Joe's thoughts on everything. Would love it if we could also get Anthony Recker on the show, but I don't think Rec is available at the moment. He might join later on, but this will also be as a combined podcast show tonight. So stay tuned for that. Very excited to have Joe in here to share his raw thoughts on what all these moves mean for the Mets now going forward and just how important they are. Let's see here. Quintana's agent that said that Billy has been working with also represent. Yeah. I know. Yep. Quintana and Senga are both represented by the same agent. Yep. And again, Mets really, really want Senga. I don't think Senga's going to land anywhere tonight, but rest assured, the Mets are all in on him. All in on him. Let's see. Cohen with a double bird to Rob in his Cohen tax. You literally said, watch this 100%. Jim, thank you so much for the dono. Wardy, I'm stoked. We need him back, and he'll be a Met for life. Love the signing, and Robertson, too. What a night for Upler. Senga next, 100%. Thank you so much for the dono, Jim. Greatly appreciate that. Hype in the chat to you. Let's see. Let's see. Give me 1 second, everybody. Hold on, Dave. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Senga, Correa, Chafin. Give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah, baby. I don't think they're going to get Chafin, and I'll be surprised by Correa. But I do think Senga is for certain a great likelihood. Not a guarantee right now, but Senga is their number one priority going forward for the time being. Dave, thank you so much for the dono. Appreciate that. Frank with the $5 holla. Thank you so much for that, Frank. Really appreciate it. Let's see else here. Wardy, I missed dono. Let's see. If I missed a donation, I do apologize. I don't mean to. Again, when we have over 2,000 live viewers, it's hard to keep up. So bear with me. I'm trying to do my absolute best here. breaking news to people in the back, people on replay. Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below too, on the Mets and these moves. Greatly appreciate it. And again, if I missed any donations, I do sincerely apologize, guys. It's not easy. My chat only lets me see like 6 comments at a time, and they're just going bang, 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 bang. Please change the membership name to Finding Nimmo. And yeah, I think that's a great thing. Yep, I love that. I actually love that. I probably will change it to that. Great idea, Dean. If I do, I'll credit you. I know I need to change the memberships for sure. And let me also check new tweets real quick, guys. Bear with me. Give me 1 second, everybody. Hold on, guys. Just checking to see if there's any more updates going on at the moment. Wow, this is awesome. Guys, actually, let me put a poll up in the live stream right now because I want to see your reactions to this, guys, more than what you're currently telling me. So give me 1 second, everybody. Let's do this right now. And guys, help us get a 500 likes for the next short-term goal to my 2,000 plus viewers. Really does mean a lot. Bear with me. I'm going to put a poll up and see what your guys' reactions are to these moves. There we go. Now we got the pull up. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Wow, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. I really want to edit the thumbnail, but I think I'll probably just edit the thumbnail once the show is all said and done. I apologize for not having Robertson highlights for you guys. I'm usually up to date on all this. I just don't have them at the moment. I do have Robertson highlights. But we're also going to be bringing Joe in the show soon, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, I do have Robertson highlight. If I discuss David Robertson in a future video or stream, like if we go live tomorrow, I will have David Robertson highlights rolling for you guys. One more thing that I do want to mention about David Robertson, let's go on his baseball savant and see how his numbers looked from this past season. Again, huge thing for David Robertson, high strikeout rate. The only bugaboo is his walk rate, literally Adam Ottavino 2.0, and that's okay. Still had a fantastic season, 2.40 ERA while having like a 5 walks per 9. That's actually ridiculous, like actually stupid. So let me get in David Robertson here real quick, so bear with me. Okay. Wow. See, this is what I mean. David Robertson's baseball savant numbers are freaking bizarre. Very good and very weird. So average exit velo for hitters, 47 percentile. So just below average. Hard hit rate, 42nd percentile. So just below average. Expected ERA, 81 percentile. Really good. Expected batting average. Okay. So normally what a batting average truly should be for a hitter, 97th percentile, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Expected slugging, 91 percentile. Barrel percentage, just below average at 43 percentile. K percentage, freaking 90 percentile. Walks percentage, 1 percentile. Literally Adam Ottavino from last year. Again, just walking too many guys. Whiff percentage, 90 percentile. Chase rate, 31 percentile. So this is the crazy, because his walk rate was so high, the chase rate was low from that, even though that his K percentage is 90%. So when he's striking out, guys, a lot of it is in the zone. Fastball velocity, 42 percentile. Fastball spin rate, 99 percentile. David Robertson is among literally the top tier in all of baseball with his fastball spin rate. So much late movement, which is why he gets a lot of swing and miss in his age 37 season. Curve spin rate, 75 percentile. Extension, 84 percentile. Very, very interesting for the Mets here and David Robertson. And again, I'm a huge fan of this move. I really wanted him, and I thought the Mets were going to get him at the trade deadline with the Cubs. The dream back then was getting David Robertson while also getting Wilson Contreras. Of course, neither of those things happened. Contreras didn't get traded anywhere, and now he signed an freaking $7 million deal over 5 years, I Bleav, with the Cardinals this offseason. And then David Robertson got traded for a solid prospect to the Phillies, in which he had an impact in them down the stretch going all the way to the World Series. So overall, very happy the Mets got their setup, guys. It's literally Adam Ottavino 2.0 here, and Brandon Nimmo. Cannot say enough great things about this man. Let's discuss Brandon Nimmo and his savant numbers real quick too, and see how they were looking this past year. I'm going to go on a limb and say that there's some pretty numbers, but give me 1 second. You don't see the poll posted? Okay, if the poll didn't post, okay, yeah, the poll didn't post. I don't know why. I apologize about that, guys. I think it didn't post. Wait. That's weird. Guys, I honestly think my stream is absolutely getting cracked out because of the fact that we have over 2,000 live concurrent viewers. It won't even load. It won't even show me the stream properly on YouTube because I'm using StreamYard to stream. So I watch two different things. Yeah, I apologize if the poll doesn't show up. It's just asking you guys if you like the deal or not. So it's not a big deal if it doesn't show up. Yeah, Brandon Nimmo stats. Average exit velocity this past year, 57 percentile. Not known for his exit velo. We know that. Max exit velocity, 80 percentile. Hard hit percentage, 48 percentile. XWOBA, 79 percentile. Expected batting average, 72 percentile. Expected slugging, 57 percentile. Barrel percentage, 44 percentile. K percent, 76 percentile. Walk percentage, 78 percentile. Whiff rate, whiff percentage, 80 percentile. Chase rate, 91 percentile. One of the best eyes in baseball. Sprint speed, 85%, 84 percentile rather. Outs above average, 90 percentile. When we're talking about defense, Brandon Nimmo was an elite center fielder this past year, and he's not getting nearly enough love. Outfield jump was below average at 34 percentile, but that's fine. And arm strength at 72 percentile. Love me some Brandon Nimmo. I'm actually surprised that Nimmo's arm strength is 72 percentile because he doesn't have the sharpest arm in center. We know that. Let's see. That sounds like cap. It does sound like cap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. But again, that's what the numbers are saying at least. Here, bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm going to send the link to get Joe in here so we can discuss this as a pod. Check the donut. I'm going to check the donations. And guys, just so you know, when we get Joe in the show and if Record joins too, I'm going to be more delayed with answering donations. So if you want to donate, that's fine. Just don't be surprised if it takes me a little bit to get to it. Mark, thank you so much for the donut. I appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Trooper HD, thank you for the dono. He says, how much did Cohen pass the tax? He's already passed it by $30 million because I feel like he's going to pass it even more. Love the vids. Thank you so much, my man. And yeah, Cohen has already passed it by $30 million. He's not even close to done. That's the crazy thing. He's literally not even close to done. Overall, guys, did any of you, how many of you Mets fans watching the show right now or watching on replay, how many of you Mets fans thought that the Mets were not going to bring back Brandon Nimmo? And Eric, thank you for the dono. He says Brantley, Turner, Martinez, or trade for a backup for Senga, like Eovaldi or Stripling. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Eovaldi is honestly him having a draft pick tagged to him, which makes me like Stripling a little bit more possibly. Trevor times 2 race and maybe a trade for a relief pitcher. Interesting thoughts, Eric. I like it, though. Thank you for the dono. You're half and half. Yell. A lot of people did not think Nimmo was going to return, and I don't blame you. I really don't. It's kind of amazing Epler and the Mets need $360 million payroll and hand out a record. It's a Braves guy talking, of course. What else is new? It's okay. They wouldn't understand. Give me 1 second, though, guys. Holy guacamole. Love this. I'm so happy with these deals. Let me check one more thing, everybody. Again, continue smashing out like and subscribe if you're just chiming in. Thank you so much for being here, folks. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, wow. Wardy, let's go. I'm so happy. I am too, brother. I really am. But guys, I'm going to get in Joe, my co-host for the Bleav in Queens podcast, because we're going to make this a podcast episode as well. That way, for people that do want to listen to a more extended version, wherever you get your podcast audio-wise too, we're going to do that. But of course, we're going to get more of your comments. Don't worry. Even after Joe is done with us, if we're still going live for a bit, I'm going to go and answer your comments rapid fire at the best I can. But I want to hear Joe's reaction to this deal and all the others. Yep, Robertson signed with the Mets too, 100%. I will change the thumbnail later on the show, if not when we end the live stream, because I just don't want to risk how laggy things will probably get if I try to do that right now. I have it in the title, though, so you do know that the Mets did, in fact, get Robertson. But let me get to these donos quick, and then we're going to bring in Joe. Pet Mets, thank you for the dono. For all Mets fans, we love Steve and Billy. Nimmo understands what it means to be a Mets player. Why did anyone think Steve and Billy were not going to do moves? Because they're still stuck in the Wilpon regime mentality, and it's unfortunate for fans. I understand the natural PTSD, but you would imagine that they would have been swayed enough by now to understand how the Mets are going to operate in an offseason where they knew damn well they had a shit ton of things to do and have plenty more to do still. Mike, thank you for the dono. He says, please Mets sign Senga tonight. Looks like we're going to be here a while, Wardy. I'm loving these moves so much. Me too, my man. Thank you so much for the dono. Great member here on the channel. Guys, give me 1 second, and then we're going to bring in Joe, and here we go. So let me do this. Let me do that, and let me do this. All right.
Wardy.
How's it going?
Wardy. Oh, my God. I am bricked up right now, dude. I'm not talking about the wall behind me. I am on cloud fucking 9 right now, dude.
You gotta get some hype in the chat to our 2,000 live viewers here on YouTube. Guys, if you're listening in audio, this is Bleav in Queens, a breaking news live stream, episode 36. Myself, Wardy, and Joe Sarala. We're going to be answering comments. It'll be unorthodox a little bit if you're listening over audio, but we had to do a live podcast that's combined with our live stream here on WardyNYM right now. Big news for the Metropolitans. They haven't only signed Jose Quintana, a $26 million deal over 2 years, trading for Brooks Raley, a stud southpaw for their bullpen. That will be what Joely Rodriguez was never going to be in Queens. And now tonight, at the time of recording this, they signed Brandon Nimmo, 8 years, $162 million extension, re-sign rather, and did also sign more than likely their Adam Ottavino replacement on a 1-year, $10 million deal, and veteran right-hander David Robertson. So, Joe, raw reactions. How pumped up are you?
Oh my God, dude. I'm going to have to like, what was that?
I'm floored by this. I'm blown away.
I got to like keep adjusting my pants right now. I'm, dude, I am so freaking stoked. Look, the Brandon Nimmo deal, I mean, you know, some people could look at that and be like, why are you so excited, right? He's been a Met his whole career. This isn't like you just signed someone new, but this was so important. We talked about the outfielders in this free agency class from the start, and it was Aaron Judge and then Brandon Nimmo. And, you know, if you lost Nimmo, maybe you'd go get a Cody Bellinger. Maybe you'd get like a Mitch Haniger, move someone else to center field, right? There was the guy that the Red Sox signed from Japan, another corner outfield option. All those guys were gone. It was Nimmo or bust. If the Mets didn't get Brandon Nimmo, who were they going to get? Kevin Kiermaier, Gold Glover, but hits like $180 at this point in his career. I mean, this was a must. And, you know, people are saying that they overpaid. First off, I mean, we have Uncle Stevie. I don't care about that, right? You ever see the movie Other People's Money? It ain't my money. I really don't care. But when you look at, did we overpay for Brandon Nimmo? Yes, 162 mil is probably more than anyone expected, but
20.5 mil per year for 8 years.
Yeah, when you look at the AAV, it's like, you know, I mean, there were rumors about the Rockies giving him 150 mil for 5 years, right? Like when you look at the AAV, I think 20 mil a year is very on par, very fair for what Nimmo's worth, maybe even a little less than what he's worth. Now, he got more years out of it, therefore he probably got a bigger total contract than we expected. Will those back-end years be worth it? I'm not worried about that right now. Will Aaron Judge's back-end years be worth 40 mil? Probably not. Probably not. So I'm not worried about the 8 years. I'm worried about the win now mentality, and Uncle Stevie went all in, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this because there was concerns. I mean, we heard reports earlier today that were contradictory to what we heard in the finale of the winter meetings, which was yesterday. And that was that the Mets, you know, the likelihood of them landing Brandon Nimmo was becoming more pessimistic, you know, more unlikely. And we knew how big Nimmo's market was going to be after Aaron Judge came off the market. I mean, at least 10 to 12 teams wanted Brandon Nimmo, and for good reason, especially when you see him all the way at the top of the list. No one even touches Brandon Nimmo on how pure he is of one of the better center fielders in the game available in the free agent market. So we know it's going to cost a lot, but I am in love with the fact that they landed him honestly on an 8-year deal. He may retire a New York Met, and he is he is exactly what we were hoping was going to be the situation with Jacob deGrom. And I'm so happy that, again, the thought process heading in the offseason, many believe Brandon Nimmo was priority number one, including yourself, Joe. And that holds true in the end. The Mets made sure they brought back their guy. They knew how much of a hole would be if they lost him. And now bringing Nimmo back in the fold here, they bring in David Robertson. I want to know your thoughts on him shortly. But the big thing of all, I did a video on this shortly before we went live on how Kodai Senga, the Mets are a top contender for him. And reports indicate that the Mets are even more likely to land Kodai Senga now because Steve Cohen doesn't give a shit. He's blowing right through that luxury tax. He's taxed 90% of every single dollar he spends after they sign Verlander and Quintana at around $300 million for the team. They're already at around $330 million. So we're looking easily at a $400+ million payroll, including taxes, for the 2023 season. Could you have ever thought, and this goes not only for you, Joe, but for every fan watching the live show on YouTube or, of course, listening wherever you get your podcast or in the comments below, could you ever have thought this would happen with the Metropolitan team just 2 measly years ago? Let me hear it, dude. This is crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts. It is so nice to be the richest motherfuckers in baseball, right? I mean, and forgetting baseball, just in our own city, in our own state, in New York. I mean, I've got Yankee fans texting me, crying about this. What a terrible contract. You overpaid Nimmo. What were you guys thinking? The Mets are drunk. I'm like, you want to talk about overpaid? You just gave Aaron Judge $40 million a year. He's going to be making $40 million at 37, at 38, at 39. But that's what Yankee fans do. They cry. And you know what? I love it. I love watching them cry. I really do enjoy misery of Yankee fans. They want to sit here and talk about you overpaid. It's so stupid. The best was one guy texted me, what happened to developing players through your farm system? I don't know. The Yankees never fucking tried doing that. I mean, you know, this is a team that wanted to buy everyone for years.
They're
right?
coveted year after year. Miguel Andujar, Clint Frazier. I mean, all these guys that they literally wouldn't even trade for Jacob deGrom a couple years ago. Do you not remember? Like, it's hilarious. They're so
but
coveted.
This is a team that their success in the early 2000s was really built on, you know, let's just sign everyone we can, right? They signed Giambi, they signed A-Rod. You know, Yankee fans talking about developed talent, give me a break, right? They're hypocrites. But I mean, I don't know, man. Just the amount of money that Steve Cohen has, you don't want to piss off a billionaire. That's one thing that I think applies to many different facets of life. You don't want to piss off a billionaire. And I think Steve Cohen got a little pissed off by Jake leaving, going to Texas, taking the money. Did you see that press conference earlier today with deGrom? I love the vision in Texas. No, Jake, you love the tax code in Texas, not the vision. Let's be very clear about that, all right? There's no vision in Texas. There's a vision in New York. Steve Cohen saw Jake. He saw that press conference. And he said, you know what? Fuck it. We're spending. I don't care what taxes we have to pay. The New York Mets are spending. We're winning. The Texas Rangers are going to go 76-86 next year. The Mets are contending for a World Series in Queens.
Yes, they are. And it's so, and again, they have to. You see Xander Bogaerts. He's now a San Diego Padre, right? Even while they still have Tatis expected return mid-season. You see the Phillies. They land Trey Turner. They land Taijuan Walker, of course, on that huge overpay of 4 years, $72 million, which Ty all the best.
Happy for Ty.
Oh my God. Someone is bringing up here. Then there was, this is from Adam Rubin on Twitter. I just want to emphasize this quick. Then there was a time that the Mets agreed to trade Brandon Nimmo to the Reds for Jay Bruce, and the Reds at the last minute switched it to Dilson Herrera over medical concerns. Yo, oh my God.
I remember I was at the ballpark that day. I was working for the Mets, 2016, my second year working there, man. Yep. And when they announced that trade, I was like, please, not Nimmo. I saw so much potential in that kid.
Yeah, and it was the start of his career, you know?
Yeah, I was really upset thinking Nimmo might have been the guy traded. Then they announced Dilson Herrera, and I was like, amazing. See you never. I mean, Dilson Herrera was just, you know, he came up in that era of like Jordani Valdez being, there were quite a few busts in that group.
Also want to mention again, because this is podcast version, before we get into David Robertson, Kodai Senga, and more, I want to let everyone know again that today's episode of Bleav in Queens is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs, so make sure you head over to betonline.ag using promo code Bleav at BLEAV. That way you get yourself a 50% off welcome bonus. BetOnline is where the games begin. And now, folks, let's get more into the show. Let me address a couple of donations here, quick, Joe, and then let's talk about David Robertson, because there is a lot of interesting things I noticed with him right away on just how perfect he is of a Adam Ottavino replacement.
That's a hilarious comment.
Hold on. He says, yes, Nimmo is back. I love it. He's the white version of Curtis Granderson. Love it. Thank you so much for the dono, Edwin, here on YouTube. Appreciate that. Is there a comment you want to highlight specifically, Joe, or was it that one?
No, it was that one. I love it. I mean, he is really just as much a fan favorite as Curtis Granderson was. You know, Grandy was my favorite when he was a Met at the time, and Nimmo, yep, a lot of people feel the same way about.
Yeah, I loved Granderson back in the day. He was a fan favorite for all of us. Nims, now it's Senga time. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that donation, brother. Let's talk now about David Robertson. So I was going over his numbers separately before you joined the show here. And again, there's no higher tax. It's literally an all-in year, 100%, Marin. Thank you for that donation. David Robertson with a 2.40 ERA, expected numbers a little bit higher this past year, 11.5 K per nine. Walk rate, walks per nine, listen to this, 5. Yeah, right?
He's got some control issues. We saw those in the World Series.
Yeah, we did. But the crazy thing, though, is that the Mets land him at a 1-year, $10 million deal. This is Adam Ottavino 2.0. The Mets really wanted David Robertson back at the trade deadline. He, of course, a longtime Yankee from 2008 to 2014, then was back with them for another year and a half, not long after. Robertson, of course, spent the bulk of his time in the Bronx when Billy Epler was the assistant GM to Brian Cashman. So they've had this great rapport, great connection for a long time. And when we saw David Robertson bounce back this season, finally gained a full workload after a couple injury-riddled years, and Philly with the Tampa Bay Rays, and then he stepped up for them in the playoffs in 2020, etc. Now you see here, 2021 rather, now you see David Robertson ball out with the Cubs, a great first half. Mets all in on him on the trade deadline. Him and Wilson Contreras. Mets land neither. Wilson Contreras stays put. Now, of course, he's a St. Louis Cardinal at an $87 million deal worth 5 years and free agency. But then Robertson gets surprisingly traded to the Phillies for just one prospect. And Robertson was a help for them down the stretch of their bullpen going to the World Series. But when you look at Robertson's numbers, what's so interesting, again, is the fact that, one, we get him on a 1-year deal, which I think the Mets love. 2, he very similar arsenal to what you would be getting to an extent with Adam Ottavino. And 3, the walk rate's through the roof. Adam Ottavino had a 4+ walks per nine when the Mets signed him to that 1-year, $4 million deal last offseason. So I think the Mets looked at this and said, hey, we would love Adam Ottavino back, but if we can't get him, Robertson at 1 year, only one when there's no commitment to 2 going into his age 38 season, just like Ottavino. How do you go wrong in this situation? So for me, I look at this deal and I think this is probably the best Ottavino replacement you could have done out there on the market. Would you agree or disagree with that, Joe?
100%. I mean, it's not even so much like when you say best replacement for Ottavino, I don't know if this is your intention, but what it makes me think is that he's the next best thing. And to me, Robertson's far and away better than Ottavino. So I'm ecstatic. And you got him at 10 mil a year. That was kind of the number being tossed around for Ottavino. I was seeing that he was looking for like a 2-year, $20 million deal.
I think the years might be the issue there.
Right. And that's just speculation. Now I'm curious to see if Ottavino kind of wants to come back and pitch with Robertson. That would be interesting. I wouldn't give him 10 mil. I wouldn't give him more than 8 personally. And I mean, I guess maybe 2 mil with Steve Cohen, your nickel and diming. Sorry. But I'm not as big on Ottavino. Robertson was the guy I wanted at the trade deadline. He was the guy who I was screaming the Mets dropped the ball by not getting from Chicago. And especially you saw that Philly did not pay a high price for him at all. I needed Robertson at the trade deadline. We got him now. I cannot wait to see him in the back end of that bullpen. And don't forget Robertson. You talk about him replacing Ottavino. How about the way in which he replaces Seth Lugo? Lugo last year was probably our most effective reliever, not counting Edwin Diaz, against lefties. Lugo had reverse splits, more effective against lefties than righties. Robertson, notoriously throughout his career, one of those reverse split guys who is actually way more difficult for lefties to hit. He's got that cutter that'll jam you, that sweeping knuckle curve with late bite. more difficult on lefties than righties. So, for a team that has been short in the past couple of years when it comes to left-handed relief options, now we've got Raley, now we've got Robertson, and those, in addition to being lefty specialists, probably your two most high leverage guys, not named Edwin Diaz. I am ecstatic about this signing.
I'm ecstatic about this signing too. And to briefly touch, also on Brooks Raley, surprise trade that happened yesterday. You signed Jose Quintana, sub 3-year Ray, 2-year deal as your number 4, number 5 starter. Really like that as long as you still land in number 3, which the Mets are destined to do here. Jose Quintana also led all pitchers in MLB last year in home runs per 9 at 0.45. Phenomenal numbers for veteran. He's a Bulldog, 165 innings last year. Still a very solid pitcher, 7.55 strikeouts per 9, 2.55 walks per 9. But Brooks Raley, holy smokes, is this guy a stud. A 2.68 ERA, has a wipeout slider, had 40 of his 60 strikeouts this past season with the Tampa Bay Rays. 34-year-old. If you look at his baseball savant page, Joe, it is ridiculous. He's in the 98th percentile, and I believe it's, horizontal movement on his slider.
I mean, look at chase rate, exit velo.
Everything
he's
is
95
stupid.
plus in everything.
He's ridiculous. And then when you look at David Robertson, for instance, Robertson's walk rate is obviously in the 1 percentile from last year. And again, that's going to change. Expected batting average in 97th percentile. K percentage in 90 percentile. Curve spin, 75 percentile. Expected slugging, 91 percentile. Whiff percentage, 90 percentile. Fastball spin rate, 99 percentile. He
spins the ball as good as anyone. I mean, that's because he also, I don't even know if he throws a 4-seamer. I mean, his fastball just moves. He's got a ridiculous cutter, and then he's got that knuckle curve, which is just the way that ball moves is just falls off a table on you. He's just great at spinning the ball. He's great at making it dance. And I mean, like I said, he's the guy I wanted last year at the trade deadline, so we finally got him.
And I'm just so excited. I'm sorry for people on audio. They're like, what's going on? This was just blown away. The Mets made 4 fantastic moves over the past 24 hours, and they're not done. Andy Martino on SNY right now said the following. The Mets really, really, really want Kodai Senga, and they are, again, all in on landing the Japanese superstar pitcher from the MPB, who's likely going to get a deal of 6 years, $100+ million. Yes, that's a tall price for a guy who's never pitched in the MLB for sure, but he's highly coveted not only by the Mets, by the Padres, by the Red Sox, and it's safe to say that the Mets, if they may not land that being in, they may not land Kodai Senga, but it's not going to go without an effort. And you could even argue that the Mets are one of, if not the top team to land him at this juncture. Like to expand further on just exactly what his Martino's comments were, he said Mets really, really want Senga, and this is Martino saying this, and again, he's 100% right. As much as we love to joke about Andy Martino, and I don't love the guy, he has been so accurate with his reporting this offseason. I have to give a lot of credit, seriously. And he says, my personal opinion, I believe the Mets will be very, very much in on Shohei Ohtani next year. So landing Senga only further amplifies that possibility. And he's 100% right. Whether that's trade deadline or whether that's not until next offseason, whenever Ohtani's officially available, the Mets are going to go all in on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting if you think about that, like down the line. Right now, the Mets have 3 starters locked into 2-year deals. Like currently, I would say our top 3 starters? Verlander, Scherzer. Scherzer's not a 2-year deal. It's year 2 of a 3-year deal, so 2 years left. So Verlander, Scherzer, Quintana, all 2 years left on their contracts. So the Mets need to be players for Ohtani. The Mets need starting pitching. Cookie's on a 1-year deal, right? Like the Mets are going to, they don't have a plan right now past 2024, which I'm okay with. We're in win now mode, and that's fine. But don't think that just because we signed Verlander, Quintana, that we have Scherzer, that we're out on Ohtani. Because if the Mets do obviously, if they sign him, it's going to be a long-term deal. But if they do try to trade for him, it would be with an understanding that there will be a re-signing involved in there. And so that would give us some long-term continuity in the rotation, which right now we don't have. So we're definitely still in on Shohei.
And I think that reaffirms why the Mets, for a lot of guys, have focused more on short-term deals. This is something that's been a little bit difficult for someone like, our co-host Wrecker to grasp. And while Carlos Rodon would be awesome.
Are you putting Wreck on blast when he's not even here to defend himself?
No, I'm not. I hope he understands the standpoint here. The Mets like short-term high AAV deals. So that way, as soon as next season and the following seasons, when again, Shohei Ohtani's free agent next offseason, the following offseason is Juan Soto if he's not extended by the Padres. These are guys that the Mets are going to be all in on. So while the Mets, I expect them to make at least one more move offensively this offseason, I don't think they're getting Carlos Correa as much as I would love him. I think he's going to go somewhere, where he's going to stay true to shortstop. I think the Mets would get creative to add a little bit more of this offense, along with, of course, hopefully landing Senga, landing another reliever. But you can tell that they want to stay a consistent contender. But when those big fish come out, guys that will fill roles on this team, like an Ohtani, potentially like a Soto in a couple of years, because by then Mark Canha's off the books more than likely if he's not even traded this offseason, which is also a possibility. Don't be surprised if one or multiple of Mark Canha, Eduardo Escobar, Carlos Carrasco are dealt this offseason with the Mets going fully blown past the luxury tax. They're going to get creative with their money, and they know that. So if they have to dump a guy somewhere to help a different position of need, knowing that they say have an influx, or knowing that they're focusing on a trade for a different bat or a different reliever, they're certainly going to consider those ideas. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, they definitely are. It's interesting thinking of like trading an Escobar, trading a Carrasco. It's when you look at the fact that the Mets even brought Carrasco back, like that shows you how much uncertainty there was about this rotation just a few weeks ago. Like quite literally a few weeks ago. Oh, did we get a Go Bonnies in there? Love that. I'm sorry. I don't know if you've shown that on the screen yet, but thank you, Paul. Shout out to St. Bonaventure.
Awesome.
But yeah, with Carrasco, it's like there was so much uncertainty. I mean, who did the Mets have on the books just a few weeks ago, right? It was Scherzer, Carrasco, Peterson, McGill. We didn't even have a fifth starter. Like Eliezer Hernandez was the fifth guy for a minute. Yep. And now it's like there's not even room for Carrasco, right? It's like dead salary weight. I mean, don't forget, the guy won 15 games last year. He had starts where he looked brilliant, also had starts where he got shelled. But yeah, it's like right now, I mean, he is, if they get a Senga or if they bring back Bassett, Cookie's all of a sudden your fifth guy. That's wild considering where they were just a few weeks ago.
It's absolutely nuts. And again, I'm just still floored by the fact that the Mets have managed to do all this over the past 24 hours. We knew that they were going to make moves. And the biggest, again, speculation was, would the Mets really be willing to go all in? I think it was safe to say, and again, we were talking with Rec off air in our group chat, how the Mets literally need to with what other contending teams are doing. If they did not go out to this extent, and they're not done yet, we know that. But if the Mets weren't adamant like this, they would have a high payroll with nothing to work with. And it's contradictive. Why are you going to go out and spend $300 million if you have a flawed team, right? You can't hope that everything from the farm is going to benefit you. You can't hope that you're going to go all in and land everyone at the trade deadline, because even if the Mets go balls to the wall crazy at the trade deadline in that scenario where, say, they're playing below average to their expectations, there's no guarantee that you're going to land guys. I mean, Wilson Contreras couldn't be had because they wanted Kane's ransom, and then they let him go for nothing to literally the Cardinals of all places. So it must suck to be a Cubs fan right now, barring that they don't get Carlos Correa, which very well can happen. But
I don't think they're gonna. I think Carlos Correa is going to be a Dodger. I'm very confident that Carlos Correa is going to be a Dodger.
Reports though that likely won't happen because of how much the fans despise Carlos.
Yeah, but if he's helping the Dodgers win 105 games, they're not going to give a shit about that anymore.
Yeah,
right. Like they got their World
agree.
Series,
Yeah.
even though it was a Mickey Mouse bullshit World Series. They got their World Series after that in 60 games. Congrats! It's like a spring training World Series. They got it. Are you drinking a big gulp? My goodness. I have not had a big gulp since I was like 12.
Are you jealous?
No, I'm worried about your fucking heart.
No, I'm fine.
You're drinking
It's
82
water,
ounces. How many ounces
water.
is that bad boy?
Dude, I'm not even halfway done with it. Relax.
No, but how many ounces is
I
the
don't
cup? It should say it on there.
Looky. No, it doesn't say. It's Wawa, so it doesn't say.
Like a 64 ounce, just
it's
caffeine.
XL.
That just looks like
half of it was
way
filled
more
with ice.
caffeine and sugar than you should be having right now.
Probably. But let's get to the point that is
I love
the
you,
Mets
Wardy.
making moves.
I love you, man. If Carlos Correa is helping the Dodgers win 100 games and win the division against the Padres team that all of a sudden is spending money like Steve Cohen's their owner, if Correa helps the Dodgers, they're going to like him, and they're going to like him really quickly. I just think it's the best fit for him on the market. I really do.
My two teams to watch that aren't the Dodgers and aren't the Red Sox are going to be the Baltimore Orioles and a potential reunion in Minnesota.
But don't the Orioles have that Gunnar Henderson kid at short?
They had top prospects, but they've been linked to Correa. They really pushed hard for him last offseason. And I think the sneakiest team for Correa too is the Atlanta Braves. I don't think Dansby's returning. I don't think that they've seen eye to eye at all. I could be wrong. I think Dansby's going to go elsewhere.
Could he be going to the Cubs?
I could see Dansby going to the Cubs, the Dodgers, or even the Cardinals. So those are three teams I would keep an eye on. And if he goes, I think that they're still going to want to upgrade by trying for Correa. They did a last-minute push behind the scenes for Correa last offseason post-lockout that not a lot of people know about. It was reported widely. Braves gave a solid offer too. And Correa, they didn't reach a deal, but they would stay in contact. And if they don't land Correa, say they lose Swanson as well, Wally Adames from the Brewers is a trade route I could foresee them considering.
Would the Brewers trade him?
I mean, at the right price, they would.
Didn't the guy hit like 30 homers this year?
I don't know about this year. He's very good and very talented. But while you might look that up, let me get to some donations quick here in the show as we're breaking down again. That yes, Brandon Nimmo re-signs on an 8-year, $162 million deal to stay in Queens for hopefully the remainder of his illustrious career, and that being in David Robertson, the more than likely Adam Ottavino replacement until proven otherwise, or unless proven otherwise, on a 1-year, $10 million deal for the 37, soon-to-be 38-year-old right-handed veteran. Ed, thank you so much for the dono here in the live stream. He says, Nimmo is wife material. Jake, just a one-night stand. Love that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's hilarious. And we've always known that Nimmo is wife material. Come on. It's always about the team. It's always about someone else before it is him. Can we be real about that? Like, honestly, I won't even be surprised if Nimmo turned down more money to stay in Queens. 162, that's a bag. But
I mean, probably turned down a higher AAV, but I have a feeling that's why the Mets went up to 8 years, because no one else was doing that. That's what my gut tells me.
Yeah, I think so too. Uncle Steve for president, Epler for vice president. Who says no, Jim?
I'm voting for it. I'm voting for that ticket. Yeah.
Steve wouldn't be the first. He wouldn't be the only corrupt guy in office, so that would work out.
Who said he's corrupt?
Shh, he's a great owner. We'll leave it at that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Something in me still wants Carlos. Who doesn't want Carlos Rodon, Justin?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Something in me still wants him too. It's the blood flow that goes to a certain part of my body. Yes, I still want Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen though. If they're gonna get a top start, it's gonna be Kodai Senga. That is their focus right now.
Or Bassett if Senga falls through somehow.
I don't think the Mets are gonna get a Bassett at all. Actually,
Really, you don't think if they don't get Senga that they would go and get Bassett right away?
No, I don't.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the Mets want to give Bassett give away Bassett's price point for a guy that probably wants a 4-year deal at 33 already.
Who's going to give it to him? Dodgers?
Maybe Baltimore.
I don't see them operating like that. 4 years. How many
Dodgers, Padres, because Padres are going to go hard for Senga. Bassett could be their pivot.
I think we got a dono from Dave Kaplowitz that we got to get to.
Okay, yeah, let's go and do that. Justin, thank you for the donation as well. One more thing I want to add. Again, Padres seem actually like a great fit for Bassett. Hopefully they lose out on Senga. Bassett would get a big bag there and overpay there, and he reunites with Bob Melvin. So it does make sense.
Interesting.
And Justin, thank you for that dono. Again, let me get some more, and then we'll get to Dave's before going forward. Nimmo just tweeted, LGM glad to be back. That's awesome.
This guy wanted to be here. That's like Jake didn't want to be here. Oh, love.
Okay. Pete, thank you for the donation. Let me get to some more. Ali, thank you so much. Verlander, Max, and Senga, 100%. Let's hope that we get Senga. That would be so sexy. Love other fans whining they're scared. LGM, go Bonnies. That was from earlier. I'm just catching up because there's a lot of comments.
By the way, Wardy, I got to teach you, because we got LFGM in there. I got to teach you FMGB. Fuck me, go Bonnies. That's what we would say in college. When we would do something really stupid, we'd just be like, fuck me, go Bonnies. Take a shot and do something.
You guys didn't know Garrett Cole's a $324 million fraud. Oh, we knew. I knew that from the get-go. Literally knew that from the get-go. I love what the Mets are doing, but I think we need at least 2 more bats. I don't know about at least 2, but I think if the Mets can get another strong bat with more slug, I think they will be in a good position, along with giving the kids playing time. So remember that too. Mets are going to give a solid leash, starting with Francisco Alvarez and others. Sign Joe Serralo for pitching depth. Who says no?
Fuck
We gotta
yeah,
get
Dave.
Joe in here.
Fuck yeah.
Joe's the tall, lengthy, flame-throwing right-hander that we've always needed. Who
I'm
needs
about
Jake?
flamethrowing. I'm coming in like 87 right now.
Hey,
I got
hey,
a hell of a
that's-
slider, man. I got a hell of a slider. It'll make you look like a ballerina spinning on your back foot.
You're throwing 87 this year in men's league when you haven't thrown. When was the last time you played?
2.5 years.
That's still damn good.
Yeah.
You weren't
right.
practicing over that time.
No, I haven't thrown a baseball in over a year up until this August when I started throwing for that role that I just posted. Oh, you're not on Instagram. That's right. I just posted the pictures today. My cameo on All-American Homecoming aired last week where I was playing the opposing pitcher in a playoff game. And that's what made me start throwing. And then I just got the itch and started playing semi-pro ball in SoCal. And yeah, I mean, season ended disappointingly. We lost in the semifinals, but had a hell of a winning streak going into the playoffs, rattled off like 8-9 in a row.
There you go.
There we go.
One thing I want to add, and this is a great point. This is why I despise the owners that don't spend in baseball. How in the hell do we live in a world where, especially for Mets fans that dealt with the Wilpons, are now being penalized for having an owner that gives a shit and also coincidentally has the absolute bag? You know, when you think about the Steinbrenner situation, George Steinbrenner, same thing happened with him with the luxury tax. They treat him the same exact way, and it's BS. I don't care. That's the Yankees. I'm in favor of teams spending because that's what they should be doing and not schmuck owners that don't spend. For all the owners that don't spend, you don't deserve to own a baseball team. I'm sorry. The fans deserve better. We as Mets fans have known for so long. That's why there's still pessimistic Mets fans towards Cohen that think that they're going to still somehow penny pinch, which blows my mind. I don't know how they think that way. But this is a great tweet I see here that I was tagged in. The Mets' total payroll is going to breach $305 million easily, and they aren't even done adding to their team. Reds majority owner Bob Castellini is worth $396 million. Think about that. Including tax, the Mets' payroll next year is going to be worth more than the Reds majority owner.
And that's why the Reds, anytime they get someone who's decent, ship them off. And why the Mets are, in it to win it. By the way, Steve Cohen, $390 million is like 1.75% of his net worth. Steve.
That's actually
let me hold a mill. Let me hold a fucking mill, Steve. Come on. 1.75% of his net worth.
Just one. Like, fuck it. Just give me $500,000. Just
Steve,
who cares?
Let me hold a milli, baby. Let me hold a milli, baby.
Steve A. Cohen is my dad. He's all of our dads. He's our uncle. I think you could rightfully argue. He might be your dad, Grant. Shout out to Jenny Metz here, one of the best Twitter accounts you'll find. Great friend of mine. Make sure to check him out on Twitter. Anthony Recker 2024 for president.
Shit.
Okay, there we go. Let's see. JV says we have the same.
He'd be cleaning up vomit in the White House.
No, you're giving it away.
Poor Reck. It seems like everyone's kids are getting sick this time of year. It sucks.
We have the same offensive lineup, and we're still looking to sign pitchers. Yeah, we are, because Kodai Senga needs to be our number 3. It's almost like the Mets don't have a number 3 right now. Joe, do the Mets have a number 3?
Pitcher?
Yeah.
Quintana.
No.
He started game 1 of the playoffs for the Cardinals.
It's the Cardinals, bro. He's not your number 3.
They won their division. Quintana's absolutely a suitable number 3. He's a number 4 on a team that's trying to fucking win a World Series, but sub 3 ERA, 0.43 home runs per 9. I mean, the guy is absolutely a suitable number 3. He's just, if he's your number 4, you're in damn good shape.
And that's what I'm trying to reaffirm here. That's why the Mets signed him to be their number 4, number 5, not their number 3. And JV, you got to realize Kodai Senga's market is hot, and the Mets are heavily prioritizing him because offensively, there isn't anything out there that's wowing for the Mets to be going, balls deep on, pardon my French, right now. Like, there's nothing bigger than Kodai Senga right now with what's available on the market for what the Mets need still for the rotation. Offensively, they can address that in various routes, whether that's still some options in free agency that's not going to be rushed as much, or 2, something via trade that can be suitable for them as well in the DH/corner outfield position, however they want to go about things, especially if they want to have a situation where if they say trade Canna or have Canna go in and out with someone else, because we know Canna doesn't play every day usually, and that's only going to continue as he gets older on this Mets team. Ken is great for what he is, but he's usually a guy that's starting between 1 and 2 games out of a 3-game series. So Mets are going to get creative. They're going to add offense, I assure you. But right now, the focus is on Kodai Senga, and for good reason. Thank you for that donation. Matthew says, is Mauricio making a strong case for a good trade piece or too soon? No way he stays a Met, right? It's crazy to think about, but I do think that Mauricio may kind of be playing his way into a potential role with the Mets in the future if they finally throw him an outfield glove or start toying him at third. Yes, you have Brett Beatty. Yes, you have Mark Vientos. But if Mauricio's bat progresses better than both of them, and his defense is at least solid, a little below average at third, it's something to consider because Mauricio's quite literally the best player in the Dominican Winter League right now. And he's facing a lot of talent that's far superior to what he's seen in Double-A ball right now. Who's Double-A? Bennington.
Right. But here's what I'll say, and I think Jesse in the comments just alluded to this. Why can't he play second base? Well, Jeff McNeil, I would say maybe a year ago, if Mauricio was closer to coming up, I'd say move McNeil to left field. This is probably Mark Canha's last year with the Mets, although I love him. I hope he sticks around. But I would say move McNeil to left, put Mauricio at second. Jeff McNeil just played a Gold Glove caliber second base this year. So I don't know if I want to move him away from second base. Now, I mean, maybe Mauricio can slot into an outfield spot. I don't know. If not, he is a prime trade candidate. Not for anyone, not for a relief pitcher at the deadline. I'm talking for an Ohtani deal. Mauricio is the kind of guy who would be a centerpiece of an Ohtani deal, like him, Parada. I don't really want to let go of Alex Ramirez because at the end of Nimmo's 8-year contract, he'll probably be playing the corners. Ramirez will probably be in center. But yeah, Mauricio, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with him. You could put him in second, bump McNeil to the outfield. You could put him in the outfield, or he can be, really a centerpiece of a massive trade, an Ohtani-like trade.
That's true. And again, if his development right now can lead to a potential Ohtani deal, as much as I don't want to trade for Ohtani when he's going to be a free agent, if it's a scenario where you landing Ohtani at the trade deadline automatically puts you over the top, which I'm sure it would, not only for the division, but potentially the entire NL, it's something worth doing. And then you get ahead on negotiations on potentially re-signing him.
100%.
So again, there's pros and cons to the Ohtani route with trading for him. I understand the viewpoint of not wanting to wait until he's a free agent, and I also understand the viewpoint of wanting to acquire him ahead of time. So both fair arguments for sure. Let's get into some more comments here, and then Joe, I want to get your closing thoughts on things. Let's see, is Gourmet still with the Mets? Yes, he is. He's a keeper and can play anywhere you put him. Yep, Gourmet. It's easy to forget about Gourmet, especially in an offseason, right? But Luis had a phenomenal year for the Mets. Truly broke out as an on-base king, a guy that just was even better with his glove. The best defensive infielder the Mets have on this team, which says a lot when you have Jeff McNeil and Francisco Lindor beside him. But I really don't think I will make that argument that Gourmet is the best glove in that infield. But do you agree or disagree?
100%. Guillorme is a big reason why on a 26-man roster, I don't really see Beatty and Escobar both sharing the roster at the same time because neither of them are plus defenders. It's not worth it to have one of them on the bench as a late inning replacement. Guillorme is a crucial part of this team and any success that this team has, both, at the plate where he was up there with Nimmo and Mark Canha as guys who would work pitchers deep in accounts. He averaged, I believe, 4.5 pitches seen per at-bat. And then in the field, his glove is just, the fact that he wasn't a finalist for that utility Gold Glove is utter bullshit.
Yeah. I especially that there's imagine having a utility Gold Glove and Gourmet still doesn't check off that box. It's absurd. I don't know. It might have been an innings thing. I think it was an innings thing, but at the same time, how could you argue an innings thing when you're a utility guy?
Right.
The whole point of being a utility guy is by not playing as many innings as a starter usually. It just doesn't make sense. But I digress. Mock, thank you so much for the dono. He says, Nimmo's played more than 93 games twice in 7 years. I'm sure the next 8 years are going to be different while he's in his 30s. I cue the pessimism there from that comment. And again, I hope for Nimmo's sake that he can stay healthy. Yes, there's 100% risks in his deal, but you have to realize one more time that there is no better surefire guarantee on an impact center fielder right now that was available than Brandon Nimmo. And a guy that can be a homegrown talent for the Mets. I think they're really prided by that thought. I think they love the idea of making him the next team captain of this club, as it was reported multiple times throughout last offseason and during the season. And the scenario where the Mets extend Nimmo, that he will likely be their captain or at worst co-captain with someone such as that being in Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
So you got to realize there's more that goes into it than, again, I understand the concerns when Nimmo is injuries. I'm not discrediting or disagreeing with that because it's true. But what is also true is that Nimmo, when he is on the field, is an unbelievably impactful player. And I think something that deserves so much more credit is a guy that just 2 off seasons ago when the Mets were in on George Springer, right? I mean, we were all quick to say, oh, either trade Nimmo or put him in the corner, right? Because he's not a true center fielder. And at the time, his defense was really suspect. Since then, he has become one of the better center fielders in baseball at a 90 percentile of outs above average this year defensively. He was freaking elite. He's
another one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mets had, Tomas Nido was our only Gold Glove finalist. They didn't have a single winner. They should have had Nimmo, McNeil, and Guillorme all be Gold Glove finalists this year. I mean, that catch Nimmo made when Jake pitched when we beat the Dodgers in that late August, early September Citi Field game, that was one of the best catches I've ever seen. Nimmo is a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. Shout out Tom Z in the comments who said low-key Nimmo's a Gold Glove caliber guy. Not low-key, high-key, he is. And that's part of the reason, just as much as his offensive prowess and his on-base percentage, his glove is just as much part of the reason why it was a necessity to bring him back. And thank you, Dave, for another compliment.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, for that. I always appreciate you, brother. Let's see if we got any more in here.
2 years, 10 mil.
2 years, 10 mil. I guess you'll take that, right? Well,
hold on one sec.
Those LA taxes, you'll take it all.
Hold on one sec. Hey, sorry, babe. I'm moving back to New York.
Would love to have you on Metcast Pod. Let's go Mets, Raymond. Awesome, brother. Yeah, appreciate the offer. Reach out to me on social media. It is difficult sometimes through DMs, but I'll try to get back to you when I can. Again, appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Let's see here. If there's anything else, Sean, thank you for the donation. Okay, so CJ, the Mets need another real threat in that lineup. Happy Nimmo's back at LGM. 100% agree with that. Joe, my raw reactions to you regarding everything that the Mets have done to this point, right? Now, when you look at Kodai Senga, what do you think the likelihood is of the Mets landing him right now? Because for me, I think the Mets are, if not the favorite, then very close to being the favorite. And then you also add in, there's one team I'm concerned about for Kodai Senga. It's the same team I've always been concerned about. Padres.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even go in hand with their spending as much, even though that they're crazy. They offer $340 million to Trey Turner. He says no because he wants to go back to the East Coast regardless. They offer a huge bag to Aaron Judge. He says no because he wants to stay with the Yanks and be a homegrown talent there through and through.
Wait, hold on. Trey Turner and Aaron Judge turned down bigger deals to go elsewhere? Oh my God, Jacob deGrom. It's actually like that happens once in a while when guys have loyalty. Fuck face.
Don't show record this. That's all I got.
I know.
But then you see they land Xander Bogaerts, $280 over 11 years, ridiculous contract, not going to age well, but a good AAV for them. But the Padres, you have two players that are former teammates with Kodai Senga, that being in Nick Martinez, the reliever, and the other reliever, Robert Suarez, who both got nice new contracts after signing 1-year deals to enter the MLB last offseason with San Diego. And Yu Darvish is quite literally one of Kodai Senga's closer friends for years on end. So that, along with the fact that they're desperate for pitching, they're in on Senga. Do you think that the Mets will have a better likelihood of still landing Senga over the Padres? Like, what's your concern level with San Diego? And two, what is your expectation level with the Mets actually landing this guy?
Concern level is high. Expectation level is also high. The concern level is high because of what you just said about Yu Darvish. I didn't even think of Martinez or Suarez and the fact that they pitched with Senga overseas. Yeah. But Yu Darvish, a guy who could speak to Senga in Japanese, that familiarity, that comfortability, being good friends, that matters a lot. So I think Billy Epler is really going to have to rely on his relationship with Shohei Ohtani. And Kodai Senga is going to have to trust Billy Epler that the Mets are going to make a legitimate push to sign or trade for Shohei Ohtani in, at most, a year's time. I think that part of getting Senga is selling him on the fact that we're going to be players for Ohtani. And I think that going out and getting Verlander, going out and signing Diaz, re-signing Nimmo, signing Quintana, I think that the way the Mets are spending this offseason to Senga will help make him believe that the Mets are going to spend or trade to make an effort, to make a push to get Ohtani. And I think that'll make him believe it's worth coming to New York, where he'll have a little familiarity, a little comfortability, someone else in the locker room who speaks his native language. I think that matters. I think that matters a lot. I mean, look, Southern California, West Coast, probably the top spot to go if you're a player coming over from Asia. New York, not far behind. So Billy Epler having that relationship with Ohtani, I think it's going to be a big selling point here. And also telling Senga, hey, look, we've got a lot of guys on these 2-year deals. We're not going to have a lot of pitching after 2024. I think that selling Senga on we're going to make a push for you and Ohtani, you guys are going to be in this rotation for the next 5+ years. I think that's going to be a legitimate piece of this negotiation. And I think we get Senga. I think right now I'd say it's 70-30 in favor of the Mets.
That's crazy. And it's nuts because not only the Mets, you can rightfully argue the Padres and the Dodgers are all in the same category as the Mets with wanting Senga and 2, using him as a further help to land Ohtani. Okay, the Dodgers are going to go nuts. And that's actually a good reason as to why we might not see the Dodgers do anything overly crazy with spending this offseason because they want Ohtani really bad. And they're going to give him an absolute bag of an offer next offseason should he make it a free agency, right? And then you look at the Padres, same exact thing. They have Yu Darvish already. They land Senga. They're like, oh my God, let's just make the trio happen then next offseason with Lenny Ohtani. And then they would have Ohtani and then 1 more year of Juan Soto before he's a free agent. So they're in this win now stage. And the Mets, the big thing again, if the Mets can start to change this market, we know how big the Asian descent is in New York, right? They have so many people from either Japan, Korea, China.
Oh my God, the Asian population, forget just New York City as a whole, Flushing, Queens.
Oh,
where
I know.
City Field is. Flushing,
exactly.
Queens. I mean,
exactly.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. No shortage there. I know people always say the West Coast is better to move to if you're Asian. Flushing, Queens, I mean, come on. It's no contest.
And I know that a lot of, Japanese players have not been in love with the idea of coming to the East because of the weather, because these guys are playing indoors. Got to keep that. That is definitely a factor. But, you see Masataka Yoshida go to Boston. That's encouraging for me. Even Seiya Suzuki going to Chicago. It's not warm there. So it's at least good to see that transition. Hopefully that continues among pitchers, that being in Kodai Senga, and then hopefully the same in Shohei Ohtani. But I'm very, very excited because one last thing I want to make a note of with Flushing and, the Asian descent is I remember I've emphasized this a couple times now on the show, but going to a Mets game last year against the Toronto Blue Jays, Hyunjin Ryu on the bump as their southpaw starter when it was Korean night. The entire visitors section was all Korean descent. That was very cool. And that's the type of diversity that we can definitely see more of at Citi Field. Just imagine they get Ohtani, and Ohtani's biggest lover that has a platform is now a part of the Mets and Ben Verlander.
Ben Verlander. To quote Jeff Passan, he's on his knees for Shohei Ohtani, baby.
We got to get Ben on the show. I think that's actually probably one of the next things that we should do. Honestly, I think that would actually be a good idea. Talk about JV.
Not? Why not?
We'll make it happen. We'll get Ben on here. But let me address a couple more donos, and then Joe, I'll get you out of here if you're short on time. JV, thank you for the dono. He says Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Real Muto, and Salvain. What's wrong with slugging your way to the World Series? Nothing wrong with that. The Phillies proved that. But at the same time, the Phillies came short because they simply weren't as well-rounded as what the Astros are. And again, they are better than what they were last year wholeheartedly. And I agree that slugging definitely helps, and I hope that the Mets address it more than what they have to this point, which is by doing nothing different offensively. I believe they will. It's just a matter of to what extent. That's what we're going to see this offseason. F-face from Joe Sorrello, 2022, so inspirational. You said it, LeCap. That's fine.
Jim, my new Instagram bio.
There you go. Jim Fraley with $5 donation. The thing that helps the Mets with Senga is he wants to pitch in the big market. What's bigger than one, big market, and two, he wants to go to a winner. All these moves tell you is that the Mets are going all in for this upcoming season. All in. So you got to imagine that entices Senga quite a bit. Apart from Robertson and Raley, all the moves have been lateral moves thus far. Verlander equal to Grom, Quintana equals Bassett, Nimmo, and then Mets bring back Nimmo. Need impact bat or arm. Yeah, I agree. And I think the Mets are going to do both. I think they're really going to do their best to get Senga, which is what we know. And hopefully they land one more bat for this lineup that is of significance. Again, that bat is just a big question mark because I have no clue who it's going to be right now. And I don't see Andrew Benintendi coming here because Benintendi really only would have made sense if they lost out on Nimmo. One bat who I could see the Mets gambling on because of how cheap he's going to be versus the rest, versus a lot of other players out in the market, as long as he has interest in return and rekindling that relationship, is Michael Conforto. If they give him a good amount of playing time and maybe trade Canna per se, or split time between the two.
No, I'd rather have Mark Canna.
I know, but home run power wise, Conforto, if he gets back to his normal self, he can easily give you 25 tops 30 home runs a season. You know, if you're looking for a bat that, again, will be realistic with this payroll, if they don't do via trade, I do think that there is some realism to Michael Conforto. The only thing that I think that can go against it is his lack of interest, because he probably wants to go to a team where he's guaranteed playing time, right?
Yeah,
So,
but how could you be guaranteed playing time after a year of not playing? I mean, he needs to prove it somewhere.
If he goes to like Colorado, he could be playing every day.
All right, go to Colorado.
And then he'll spark his offensive numbers. Go to Cincinnati. Like, he should be smart and do that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he'll play meaningless baseball for a year, but he'll get reps in.
Yep. And those offensive numbers will be inflated.
Yeah,
So.
I think that bridge has been burned between Conforto and the Mets. I like Michael Conforto. I sincerely do wish him the best. I don't think he's going to end up with any team that's a contender. I think if any contender was going to sign Conforto, it would have been the Astros around deadline time when they were in talks with him. But I don't think Conforto is going to see where's he going to get playing time with Seattle?
He can fill the role that Jesse Winker was.
So they lose Haniger.
Corner outfield.
They lose Winker. They lose Haniger. They have Julio. They have Kalenic. Dylan Moore is pretty good.
Probably going to get traded.
I think the Mariners are invested in Kalenic.
I think I disagree with that, actually. I think that they rushed him, which is shame on them for that. I knew they rushed him when they brought him up originally. Yeah. Kalenic's a very emotional player, and I think that they could use him as a deal to have him get a change of scenery. Wouldn't be surprised, is what I'm saying. But
maybe, but Conforto's, I don't think he's going to end up on a contender. I really don't. I think if any team signs him, it's going to be in Arizona. It's going to be I don't even know, a Miami. Seattle, I mean, it's interesting because he went to school up in Oregon. Is he from Oregon? Where's he from?
He's from Washington.
Oh, he's from Washington. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really see too many contenders. The Mets, I think that bridge has been burned.
Or if they don't get, I don't see why he would want to go there. But again, contending team, right? If they don't get Benintendi, the Blue Jays, you'd have to imagine, would want a Michael Conforto. They need a lefty bat more than anything right now. All they have is righties, and he would be a fit for them because they were in on Cody Bellinger. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
And they wanted Nimmo. Nimmo was their priority. They traded Teoscar with hopes of going all in on Nimmo, and they lost out on Nimmo. So if they don't land Benintendi, then that's another potential fit for Michael.
They haven't landed anyone.
No, they
need to go out there and sign some damn pitchers before they do anything else.
And they have catchers that they're willing to trade, good ones, but the Cardinals were a fit, and now they just signed Contreras. So that's, a fit that's off the board for them via trade.
Yeah.
So
there we go. Jared Kalenic for James McCann. I'll do it.
Who says no?
I'll even throw in Darren Ruff because I'm a generous guy.
Yeah. Apart from Robertson and we discussed that already. Thank you for that dono again. Let me see what else we got here before we wrap things up, guys. Again, continue smashing that like and subscribe on. Help us get to 1,000 likes here on YouTube for people live or on replay. Greatly appreciate it. And make sure to check out the Bleav in Queens podcast wherever you get podcasts. That's on Spotify, Apple, Google. I mean, literally anywhere and everywhere that you can find your audio podcast. Make sure to follow us there. Rate, review, listen. Normally we have Anthony Recker with us. Reck was caught up in some things tonight, and that's perfectly fine. We're excited to hear Reck's thoughts next week.
Poor Reck. I love the guy.
$5 donation from Sean says, you guys touched on this, but these acquisitions served to prove the saying that we're all in. Also give Nimmo the C on his jersey. I think Nimmo is going to be captain. I really do. I stand by that from everything that's been reported. Thank you for the donation, Sean. JV, when our offense sputters again, it's good to know we still have Ruff. They got to do better. JV, why are you being so pessimistic when I'm saying the Mets are likely not done offensively?
Are those pesos? Is that the P? Is that 250 pesos?
Yeah. JV's a great supporter. He's
Our
He
show,
wants-
our
he
show's
wants
fucking
more offense.
international. I love it. I saw the P. At first, I was like pounds, and then I was like, no, pesos.
Yeah, I appreciate that, JV. Thank you.
It's amazing.
But with that being said, I don't think there's any more to add. Let me check on Twitter to see if there's any updates, and then we'll get ready with wrapping up the show. Craziness, dude. I had just hopped off of Xbox. I played for literally a half hour, just cooling down a little bit. Wasn't expecting a live stream today. I was like, I live streamed 3 times yesterday.
Philippines. Thank you for clarifying, JV.
Philippines.
Sorry about that.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Apologies. I hope I didn't
JV's
offend
even
you.
more mad. I'm sorry, JV.
I know. I hope I didn't offend you, JV. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
we
genuinely
didn't-
asking.
Yeah, we didn't mean that.
JD Martinez.
JD Martinez is back, was absolutely cooked last year. That's my concern.
Yeah.
His second half was the 2 big bats that we would have liked the Mets to land, either of them at the trade deadline, and himself and Josh Bell fell off a cliff in the second half of the season.
Josh Bell did fall off a cliff. That did happen. That is true. You're not making that up.
Yep. But any last words, Joe? I think we hit the nail on the head.
LFGM, baby. LFGM. We're not done. We're not done.
We
either.
aren't done.
We're not done.
Yeah. LFGM. So guys, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button again on here on YouTube. Big giveaway on the channel at WardyNYM. So make sure to check out for that one. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So make sure to check out the podcast as always, wherever you get your podcast, rate, review, all that fun stuff. This is Wardy signing out. Joe Serralo is out of here, and have a great rest of your night, folks. Let's go Mets, baby. Talk to you guys again real soon. Peace out.